All right, what's up, people? So, I wanted to do a follow-up to my Switch video I posted Friday because I did that basically before I had a chance to watch the Treehouse, or before I had a chance to talk with people and basically watch other people's opinions as well. So, yeah, basically, they announced the Switch. I was like, well, that's kind of has some cool things going for it. It would be pretty excellent to be able to play Bethesda games and other things like that on the go. I would have really liked it if they could have gotten Rockstar on board at the unveiling, but whatever. But anyway, I was thinking that'd be kind of cool to do some of that stuff. So I talked with some people Thursday night, and they're basically saying that regardless of whether it's any good or not, that with it being Nintendo hardware, it will go out of stock. So they're like, what I would do is just put in a pre-order and then think about it. You can always cancel the pre-order later. I was like, well, I guess that makes sense. So Friday morning, I got off work. I went to GameStop, put in a pre-order. And I'm like, well, I got 2.5 months, whatever, to think about it and decide if I want to go through with it or not. When I went there, the guy's like, so what games do you want to pre-order? I'm like, I don't want to pre-order any software right now. I'll think about that later. I was thinking I'd come home, watch a Treehouse event, see if they had any more titles to announce on launch day, and then make a more informed decision at that point. So I come home, and I watched the Treehouse event, and basically all the Treehouse event was just pretty much a glorified pimp for each thing that they talked about the Nintendo thing. They didn't come out with any new information per se. They just basically built on the information that we already knew. So basically what that leads us at is launch day, as of right now, unless thing ground shaking happens between now and then. But that launch day, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We have Super Bomberman. We have some Asian, Japanese game of some sort that I can't remember that I don't really care about. We have Just Dance. And we have 1-2 Switch. So we have 5 games for the launch window. 4 of those games, as far as I'm concerned, utter trash. And I'm still kind of on the fence about Zelda anyway. Out of all the Nintendo IPs, Zelda is probably the one that I have the most frustration with. And the reason why is because it's a great, it's got a lot going for it. But as far as I'm concerned, they won't go very far with it. They won't push the envelope. There we go. They won't push the envelope with the IP. And it's like, I look at, I see how Zelda looks, and to me it's very bland, visually speaking. There's not a lot going on. And then I compare that with like Skyrim or Witcher or any of those other games out there that are kind of set in the same setting. This beautiful palette of colors, contrast, all over the place, shadow details and things like that. And now I look back at Breath of the Wild, and it's just very flat. There's no shading. It's just that the colors are really flat to me. And I felt that way with majority of Zelda games. Probably the one that I liked visually speaking the most was Twilight Princess. I wish that they would have taken that and just kept on going forward with it, but they didn't. So whatever. But that's neither here nor there. I'm excited about what the game is saying that they're going to offer as far as the experience goes, because they're going to offer kind of a more open world than they've done before. So that's cool. I really like open world games. But I know, it's just basically, it comes down to it. I'm a little annoyed at the thing. I like the idea of the Switch, I think, much better than the actual piece of hardware that is the Switch itself. So I think that's kind of where I stand. It's like Nintendo, you had one job and one job only. Just go and make a cool console, and whatever, and wow us. But everybody's like, oh, it's all about the games. It's all about the games. Well, yeah, it is about the games. But if they don't have a platform to make those games, then what games? Okay, so far we have a Zelda game. We have Splatoon coming out in summer. And we have a Mario game coming out in November, December. So that's basically 3 games so far that are confirmed that people would really be salivating about. The rest of them are either rehashes, re-releases, ports, or things of that nature. Honestly, I really wish that they would have just said, okay, we have the DS, that's our handheld market, and we're going to focus on making really cool powerhouse home console. But I want to be optimistic, though, and think, what if they're on to something and the rest of us just haven't got it yet? And what if they're like, why would you guys play, Fallout at home and then play Pokemon on the go when you could play Fallout on the go? Which, that's an interesting concept. The problem is, they didn't sink enough into the hardware for it to be able to carry things like that we know of so far. I think that they should have at least put in a beefier processor, more RAM. That way they could have been able to pull off something like that. Because as of right now, we don't know if it's the special edition or if it's the vanilla of Skyrim. I want to say it's a vanilla because I would think that Todd Howard would have mentioned something about it being the special edition, which he didn't. So, I don't know. I'm still keeping the pre-order right now. At the very least, I could check eBay a few days before and see how prices are, and then see if I just want to flip the stupid thing or something. I don't know. But I've never owned a Nintendo console at launch. I've never picked one up at launch. So I might just keep it just for that particular, just to take that off, the list. I wish I could say the same for Sega, but sadly I never owned a Sega console at launch either. The closest I came was I picked up the Dreamcast while they were liquidating them out of the store. So instead of getting the Dreamcast at launch, I got the Dreamcast at death. But whatever. I did pick up the original Xbox on launch day, and that was such a great release. You had some really great titles. You had Dead or Alive 3. You had Halo Combat Evolved. We had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2X. We had Project Gotham Racing. We had Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. Bloodwake wasn't really that bad of a game. It was more or less just a demonstration of the technology. But there are some amazing games for the Xbox launch. I would say probably the original Xbox launch, in my opinion, and even studying history for launches I wasn't present for. But from now all the way back for when, I have to say the original Xbox launch, in my opinion, is probably the strongest video game launch ever. They had some amazing titles. I ended up buying like 7 games that day, and every single one of them were amazing games. And that's more than I can say for some other launches. And they're almost all original games except for Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk was a rehash. Yeah, I think Tony Hawk might have been the only port out of the whole freaking thing. I think every other game was a completely original game. And there are a lot of exclusives too. Oddworld was an exclusive. Dead or Alive 3 was an exclusive. Halo was an exclusive. Project Gotham was an exclusive. Bloodwake was an exclusive. That whatever Frenzy game, it was a party game, but whatever, it was an exclusive. There was a crap 90% of the freaking launch was exclusives. There was that, I think one of the NASCAR games was an exclusive, because there was two NASCAR games. I was thinking one of them was an exclusive, one of them was a multiplat. I picked up the multiplat, oddly enough. I guess, yeah, you had NHL hits. That was a multiplat. There was that football game. Yeah, well, that was an Xbox exclusive, and it was really well received. I remember I played the demo with my cousin, and we had a ball with that. But anyway, I'm getting way off track, but that was a freaking awesome launch. Great lineup, great library, great hardware. It was just all around. Microsoft nailed that sucker, and I still haven't seen a launch like that since then. And so it's kind of sad. But I was really wishing that the Nintendo was going to nail this thing, because I was hoping, well, I was honestly getting pessimistic a few months leading up to it, because I started hearing about leaks and all this other stuff. People talking about how they're still using old technology. And so, I don't know. I really don't know where this puts Nintendo at. I was hoping that they may have learned from their past mistakes from the Wii U and address those moving forward with a stronger product and a stronger lineup. But it looks like they're just repeating the same freaking mistakes. And I mean, even if you look at that graphic that's been circulating of all the games that are right now confirmed to even be releasing on the console, it's like, I don't know, what was it, 15, 20 games through a 12-month window? I think the original Xbox had 15 or 20 games just in and of itself on launch. Dreamcast too. Dreamcast had a really strong launch lineup. So I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't understand. And I kind of almost wonder what it would be like if Nintendo of America said, you know what, guys, just hold on. You guys over there in Japan take care of the games. We'll take care of the hardware. I wonder how things would be if Nintendo of America took care of the hardware. I would assume that they would make some really bomb, systems. I don't know. But that was something I was kind of wondering earlier, was what would the hardware be like, the system be like, if Nintendo of America had taken over and made it instead of Nintendo in Japan, because it seems like Nintendo in Japan is ran by a bunch of 80-year-old business guys who don't know anything. And I don't know. I don't want to see Nintendo go the way of Sega, and just focus on third party making games for other platforms. But dang, I just wish that Nintendo would make a console that can stand head and shoulders against the competition. The N64 couldn't compete well because it was cartridge based in the CD world. The GameCube couldn't compete all that well because it didn't have hardly any capability online, and it had mini discs, so it was harder to program for the same material on. And also they didn't have a DVD player, whereas Xbox and PS2 had DVD players. That was also kind of what led to the Dreamcast failure, was it didn't have a DVD player either, and it was also easily pirated. The Wii comes out, and it's a standard def system in a high def world. And yes, it went on to sell 100 million units, but what I want to know is how many people are actively playing those units. Because I have a Wii, but I rarely use it. I just have it for the 3 games I use it on. And then we got the Wii U. The Wii U is finally Nintendo's venture into high definition, but Sony and Microsoft were already talking about taking it to the next level. And then we got the PS4 Pro, which goes 4K. The Xbox One S goes 4K. The Switch comes out, and it's still a 1080p system. I just don't know. I don't get it. But as I said, as of right now, I still got my reserve. I'm so far still going through with it. We're just going to have to see how things go. I guess I'll go ahead and have to put down a reserve on Zelda, since that's the only freaking game that's going to be out on the system worth playing anyway. I just don't get it. The other 4 games are just utter trash. So why are they even releasing them? Why is 1-2 Switch even a game? Why was that even made? ARMS looks cool, and I read several people said that it was confirmed by Nintendo that motion controls are not necessary. So that's even awesomer, because I'm not going to be sitting here doing this. I'm sorry, that's not. No, I'm going to be sitting here doing this. That's what I do. I do this. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to get a pro controller. I'm going to sit my butt on the couch. I'm going to be playing it like this. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. ARMS does look cool. I'm really looking forward to see how much more is to the game. Like, what is the single player campaign going to be like? But I don't have much else. I just wanted to ramble on here for a little bit, kind of add more on to what I said Friday, because I was mostly optimistic about it Friday. But then after I had a chance to watch the Treehouse when I came home, after recording the video and after I had a chance to look at some other things and whatnot, kind of like what Izzy said, if you guys remember that guy. He said on Twitter that he's not mad at Nintendo, he's just disappointed. And I kind of feel the same, because I was really hoping for them to just hit one out of the park and come up with a system, and just a powerhouse system. I just wish they would do that. Why can't they say, screw the gimmicks, screw the motion, screw the portable, screw the second screen, screw all this crap. We're just going to have a box, and it's going to be 12 teraflops. It's going to have 16 gigs of RAM. It's going to have a 1 terabyte hard drive. We're going to charge $500 for it. It's going to be x86, so every developer can develop for it. It's going to completely mop the entire industry. Just completely mow everybody down. Xbox what? It'll be 4K out of the box. It'll be native 4K, none of this checkerboard render crap. And I just really want to know, how far would that go? Can you imagine playing a Donkey Kong game on 4K resolution with like something like the Unreal Engine? I mean, it just blows my mind just thinking about the possibilities. It will just probably never ever be achieved, because the stupid company is run by a bunch of 80-year-olds in a high-rise building wearing suits. Well, I don't know. I guess that's all there is to it. But thanks for watching, and peace out.